Some people call it the ugly duckling, but this AU was one of the best cars Australia ever built. We were given the opportunity to buy this off an older grandma who unfortunately passed away, but it needed a whole heap of work to bring it up to a level so it's drivable and usable and safe again. Let me take you through everything that we've done. I received a call from the legend John Pasheri, Melbourne real estate agent, who discovered this car buried deep in a shed. This guy obviously knew that I love saving old Fords and Holdens, so he gave me a buzz and said, "George, are you interested in this car?" At the time of shooting this video, I have around 13 cars, and I immediately said to him, "Dude, I do not need another project." But he held me at gunpoint, so I had to buy the car. Initially, didn't really have any intention in buying it. They sent me some photos and the thing looked fairly clean but rough at the same time. But after I saw the car in person, the vibes just hit me. I had to pick this thing up and save it. I had an AU for my first car, which I drove for over 10 years. Unfortunately, someone rear-ended it when it was parked on the street, and at that time it had nearly 480,000 kilometers on the clock. But there was just something about this beautiful sparkling burgundy paint that I just had to have. I love the fact that this car is pretty much unmodified other than a CD player, and it's already been lowered. Surprisingly, grandma knew what she was doing. Now, the story was that she bought it off her son's friend back in the day, and he obviously lowered it a touch, but not so crazy that it's illegal and scrapes on speed bumps. First looking over the car, it was extremely dusty. The roof lining was falling off. It had some ugly seat covers and broken seats. It needed a whole bunch of maintenance done to it. So after scratching my head for about a month, the owner kept reaching out to me, and I eventually went and picked it up, and Thomas and I, my 17-year-old son, got stuck straight into fixing all of the maintenance items that this car needed. I forgot to mention we're giving this car away to one of you guys this Saturday at the time of shooting this video, the 27th of September 2025, with a roadworthy delivered Aussie-wide. All you gotta do is buy a sticker at the link below and you're in the draw to win it. But if you don't want it, I highly suggest entering for a friend who's in need of a new daily, a new car to drive on their Ps, or if you're a museum that wants to add a new piece to your collection, which will have people lining up around the street to see. Taking the car for the first test drive, the first thing I realized is it needed a front wheel bearing. I was hearing a shugga 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 sound from the front right, so I ordered some new wheel bearings, and while we were there, Thomas realized that the front brakes were getting a little bit low. So while they were off, we decided to fit some Protex high quality brakes to the car, and we also did brand new rear brakes as well to make sure this car is roadworthy and safe. So 2 brand new front wheel bearings went in at the same time. After installing new brakes though, you have to bed them in, so Thomas and I took the car for a test drive, and we did some stopping from 20 k's an hour, then 40 k's an hour, 60 k's an hour, making sure that all the braking system was working properly. The next roadworthy item that this car needed was a new roof lining. And there's nothing more ugly than a roof lining that's falling down or pinned up. So we hit up the pros at Elite Auto Upholstery in Melbourne, and they hooked us up with a brand new covered roof lining that resembles exactly what the factory material would have looked like, brand new off the showroom floor. So Ryan there installed that for us, and it came out absolutely amazing. He also did some later work to the seats for us, so stay tuned for that. I photoshopped the vision for the car, putting it on the same wheels as our LTD had, the G6E Turbo Series 1 18-inch wheels, which really set this car off. So I hit up Stephen Gallios, the previous winner of our DF LTD, and I said, "Stephen, do you want to sell the wheels off the giveaway car?" And he already changed them to EL GT wheels. So he kindly sold them back to me so I can make this vision come to a reality. Looking at the car's paint under the lights, it was good from far, but far from good. So one of the things on the checklist was to do a full paint correction. Got a package. What do we have here? Door actuator. So we booked the car in with on-duty panels in Sunshine West to do a full paint correction on this vehicle, where Dilla is going to show us his magic on how to get that done. There was an issue with the passenger side window going up and down, so we fitted a brand new window regulator to ensure this wasn't going to be an issue, because it's super annoying in an AU when your windows don't go up and down. Here's the car park next to the FG. Which one would you prefer? When we got to on-duty panels, Dilla gave the car a full decontamination wash. This was to remove any previous waxes, coatings, road grime, contaminants on the vehicle's paint. He then also used a clay mitt, ensuring that his sponges are thoroughly washed out not to further scratch the vehicle in any way. He went to the extent of taping up all the black trims, remove the mirror, because this decontamination can discolor the plastics if you're not careful. One of the most important things was washing out the mitts correctly, because if there's any dirt in the mitt, it's just gonna move around and scratch the car, creating more work. To see the true condition of the paint, we had to get it under the lights inside the factory, where we could really see how scratched the paint was. We then started with the full 2-stage paint correction of the car, using a cutting compound with a microfiber wool pad. This stage removes deeper scratches and hazing. We also masked off sections of the car so overspray from the polish wasn't creating more work for us later, because once that stuff dries, it's pretty hard to get off. Have a look at the clarity and color depth from only a few passes. It's amazing when someone who knows what they're doing can achieve in such a short amount of time using the right tools. He also used an oil and grease remover on the paint to make sure there's no cutting compound left, so we could move on to show us how wet sanding works. So he used a very fine 2000 or 3000 grit paper to actually sand the paint down, which on a paint job can remove texture and create an even better shine. It does take a lot more work though. So he showed us how to do this on a section of the bonnet. This can be a great way to remove imperfections from the paint if you know what you're doing. And the shine was coming up beautiful. Exactly what this car needed. He used different size polishing heads depending on which part of the car he was working on. Notice on this guard here, the pad size is smaller to allow for that contour of the panel. To do this job right, you really need the proper tools. Even on the edges, he will custom punch out from a larger pad, a tiny mini pad for those smaller areas. Check out the difference on this boot lid with just one round of cutting compound. It's not perfect, but what a difference. The car's beginning to look respectable again. We then went on to give the headlights a buff too, as they were slightly faded. Similar process, wet sand with 2000 grit sandpaper, 3000, and then hit it with the cutting compound. Came up so much better than it was before. Every little detail to a car's visual appearance adds up to give that overall clean look, which is exactly the love that this AU needs to have. By the way, if you're a panel beater, spray painter, laborer, and if you're looking for a new workplace, you're sick of where you're working at now, we're always looking for great people to expand the team. So there's a link in the description where you can register your interest and we'll have a chat about maybe you coming to work with us also. I popped my apron on and got stuck on the rest of the car. Dillard only showed us how to do the front. It was quite a long process doing the whole car, but it's really what it needed. The paint is not perfect on this car, but this definitely brought it up a level. It still does have a few little scratches, scrapes, and paint imperfections here and there, but it's come up absolutely amazing. We noticed some staining on the glass as well. So similar technique, but this time we mask off the car and leave the glass exposed, helping to remove water stains and bring the shine back to a level that's respectable again. We then ceramic coated the car in the Mother's CMX spray-on ceramic coating. The ceramic coating provides sun protection, repels dirt better than waxes, and just makes washing your car a lot easier. In a lot of cases, you can just soap it up and hose it off without even touching it with a wash mitt. We used some cheap microfiber towels to wipe down the paint, which we thought would be fine, but they actually scratched the paint. So Dilla said to us, it's so important to use rags that come in a bag, as the ones that are open could have been stored in warehouses for many years. Even though we blow them out, for some reason the cheaper microfibers were still scratching the paint. So we moved over to a high quality one, which made all the difference. As you might have seen before, there was a scrape on the right-hand rear quarter panel. This was a real eyesore of the car, so the boys at On Duty fixed up that dent, got it into the booth, and gave it a lick of paint. That was one of the spots on the car that stood out the most, and what a shame having it look like that when the rest of the car looks so nice now. Time to go home and throw on these new wheels now. Initially, I threw on my black Simmons FR 20-inch wheels. You either love them or you hate them. I've had a lot of mixed comments on both. Here's a quick look at some of the AUs my family owned. So my dad's Series 1 AU company car wagon, then he had a Series 2, then he had a Series 3 in the navy blue, and that's my first car there, the 2001 Ford Falcon SR, back when I was on my P's. My dad later bought a 2004 BA Falcon brand new from Ford, back when that blueprint color just stood out on the road like nothing else. Here's the car parked up at the city with the Simmons on. would you run these wheels if it was your car? Really wanting those G6E wheels, we went over to see Steven, the previous car giveaway winner of the LTD V8, who's done a whole bunch more work to the car. He repainted the front ends, bringing it up to a level, put some EL GT wheels on it, he's put in some new seats and done a few other tasteful mods as well. It's looking absolutely amazing. I came home and immediately put the G6E wheels back on the car, and the look that I was going for was really starting to take shape now. Here's the AU sitting next to a VF Commodore Calais. Which design do you think looks better? Clearly the AU. Time for the interior makeover. So we removed the ugly old seat covers to unveil the original seats that were in pretty rough shape, removed the car mats, ripped off that steering wheel cover, gave the car a thorough vacuum, wet vac the seats with the Bissell spot cleaner, got up into the carpets where there's some previous spillage that the previous owner didn't fix. The car was looking much more respectable inside. I realized one of the exhaust hangers was broken, so I took it over to Sharp Exhaust where he fitted a brand new factory style system with a fresh round black tip, which I think suits the car perfectly. The car was even lucky enough to feature in an Autobahn ad for wiper blade fitting. The car needed new wiper blades badly, so we fit up some new Trico ones, which are pretty much silent as the old ones were shuttering quite badly and needed to be replaced. They also cleaned the window with a Rain-X to make sure the wipers glide beautifully across the glass. I took the car to work with me one day, went to shoot a real estate house and encountered this guy on the way who was just dropping stones all over the road. Was it just my luck? And then I got to the house and unfortunately the owner didn't leave the keys for me to get in, so I was trying to find them for about 10 minutes. And I went back to the car and a tradie from next door came over and let me know that he accidentally hit the car and reversed into it. After all this work, what a disappointment. It was only a small amount of damage, but the annoying part is that we just spent all this time getting the body pretty much perfect, and now it had to go back to the panel shop again. I also noticed that, like on all AUs, is missing the plastic cap that goes on the front bumper bar. It's always the right-hand side one. So I sourced a pair on eBay for 65 bucks, just bringing this car up another level again. We did notice that the paint was cracking a little bit on the passenger side quarter panel, which I wasn't happy with. So I took it back to on-duty panels where they weren't only gonna just fix the front dent that just happened, but we decided to start digging into the paint and realized that it was a previous repair job that wasn't done right. So the boys fixed it up correctly, along with that new front dent, which actually got paintless dent removal to minimize the amount of filler being used. So back the car went into the spray booth for more paint again. It was such a relief having the car back to good condition again. We designed up this really cool sticker saying, "Can't spell Australia without the AU, save Aussie cars." And if you buy one of these stickers, you go in the draw to win this car this Saturday. At the time of filming this video, if you're watching it before September 27th, 2025, you can win this car. Comes with a roadworthy and will be delivered to your door at my cost, Australia-wide. And at the time of shooting this video, there's gonna be less than 100 spots left. We're capping it at 500 entrants total. No thousands of entrants like other giveaways. This one here is not everyone's cup of tea, but it's the perfect daily, first car, cruiser. Look after this car and it's gonna go up in value as well. So you could consider that an asset. So now back onto the interior. The front seats were looking very tired with broken bolsters and torn fabric. So Ryan from Elite Auto Upholstery has worked his magic. He did not completely retrim the seats, but he's repaired them and they feel better than brand new. He's put a more aggressive bolster in it so the seat looks standard, but it really hugs you when you're driving and it feels amazing now. It's transformed the whole feel of the car. I highly recommend anyone doing it if you haven't. Ryan also has a wide range of rare old school Holden and Ford materials, so you never know, he might just have that trim that you're looking for. Feel free to contact him at his Facebook page, link in description below. I think this car is perfect exactly how it is now, without any crazy modifications. It's easy to get insured, drive around and use as a daily vehicle. It's not too loud and obnoxious to the point where you're gonna be defected, but it still looks cool and gets so much attention on the road. I've had multiple people come up to me admiring it. It would be a shame if someone turned this thing into a skidder. So if you wanna win it, this Saturday night I'm announcing the draw. Grab a sticker and hopefully I'm calling you then. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you would drive this car or not. And if you're in the draw already, then that's amazing. I'll be speaking to one lucky winner this Saturday night. I'll speak to you then.